Hi, everyone. I'm a few minutes early and I just kind of want to give it some time for people to be able to see that I'm live and to log on as they want to. So just bear with me for a few minutes. This will be like the longest 3 minutes of our life, I'm sure. I hope everyone is doing well. And just give everybody a few minutes to see what's going on and see that I'm live. So just bear with me as we wait for a little bit. I'm a little early. I hope that everyone is doing well. This will, as I said just a moment ago, probably be the longest 2 minutes of our life as we wait. As you can see, I am wearing the Chiefs gear. I am from Kansas City, so yay, go Chiefs. I really hope that even if you don't really watch football or competitive sports in general, that you at some point in time get to experience what it feels like when your city's team goes to like the Super Bowl or the World Series, because the feeling of community is just overwhelming. It is one of the few times where you can actually just feel the positive vibration that everybody coming together emits. So even if you are not a sports person, I do hope that you someday get to experience that if you haven't. It's very, very cool. So other than that, also it is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. So I guess the red shirt kind of covers that as well. So I will go ahead, and it is 5 o'clock, so I will go ahead and get started. Thank you for all that have joined. This is the second episode of Thoughtful Tuesdays, and my name is Stephanie. I am the founder of Overcoming Myself, which is basically my journey for handling and overcoming life with multiple sclerosis. And so now I'm at a point where I have become a certified health coach. I've been doing this journey for more than 4 years now. And I'm just at a point where I really want to create a community of where we can just come together. And I guess my intention is for us to be able to come together and have a place that we can discuss and figure out the best ways to overcome our autoimmune with just natural approaches. So diet and lifestyle primarily is my angle. Certainly open to all kinds of different angles. But as far as my expertise, diet and lifestyle is where that would be. So today, I'm going to just talk about a few things. I don't want to keep you too long. It is Valentine's Day. I don't know how many of you guys are running off to try to go to dinner with your significant other or anything, but I won't be very long. I wanted to talk about a few different things. Number one, I'm going to talk about bioindividuality. I've mentioned that a few times. And some of you guys are not familiar with that because it's actually not a real word. So, but I'll talk to you about that. And also what my beliefs are as far as genetics and how they play a role with disease. And if we're going to talk about my beliefs on whether or not I agree with the medical industry and their definition of autoimmune and is our body attacking itself. And then also I was going to cover thoughts about science versus intuition. So just a few things to really talk about. This could take 15 minutes. It could take 30. It really just, I have no idea what to expect. I am hoping that my internet, I did actually do the Ethernet. So we'll see if maybe my internet will not cut out this time. And as far as any comments are concerned, I still do not really know how it works with this. And so if you want to comment, if you are commenting and I'm not responding to the comments, it's because I'm not seeing them. And I don't know why, because as far as I know, I am on the comment section and should be able to see them. So I don't know. I will say, though, if you are on Facebook, through either the private multiple sclerosis group or on my Overcoming Myself Facebook page, you have to give StreamYard permission in order to basically communicate with me. So just go to streamyard.com/Facebook and you can do that. So I think you're still able to comment. I don't know if I can respond, or I don't know how all that works. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I said, this is episode 2, so we'll figure it out as we go. But again, streamyard.com/Facebook, and you can give permission in order for us to be able to communicate. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about bioindividuality. So when I went to school for becoming a certified health coach, one of the words they use all the time is bioindividuality. And essentially what that means is that every person is completely different. So that's why what one thing works for one person won't necessarily work for the person next to them. That stands true for even siblings. And really what it boils down to is that the insides of our bodies are completely different from one person to the next. And that includes siblings and everything. It depends on what you have been exposed to, all the way from in utero to now. Because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but your parents actually pass on different toxins, different viruses, different emotions, just different things are being passed to you through utero. And that is going to differ from you to your sibling. And so then you put on top of that what you've been exposed to once you're out in the world. So everything that you've come across, everything you touched, even if you live in the same house as your sibling for your entire life, you still will have been exposed at different times to different things, making your concoction within you different. So that means that if you thrive not eating gluten, but it doesn't affect your sister, that's just the way that it is, because there's different things inside your body versus your sibling's body or anybody else's body. And that's why it's very unfair for people to say, well, I know so-and-so lived to be 102 and, they drank Diet Coke their entire life. Well, that's great for them. They obviously had a chemistry in their body that did not affect them in the same way. So it makes it tricky because you do have to figure out what is the best scenario for you and your body, which is really when connecting with yourself and learning that intuitive connection to really try and figure out what your body is trying to tell you that it needs or doesn't need. So that's bioindividuality. That is just trying to make sure that you are on the path that is for you. I do offer, like whenever I do my classes, I offer an elimination diet, a guided elimination diet. And what that does is it takes you down to basically the bare necessities, the bare bone minimum. And then you reintroduce the things back in to find out what your body reacts to. Because when you take all of that stuff out, it's much easier to see how your body is reacting or what it does or does not want. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can always go to my website and look at the different services that I offer, but it is part of the 16-week course. A very, very detailed elimination diet is part of that. So that helps with figuring out the whole bioindividuality thing of what you are reacting to, even though others might be or not be. Okay, so the Next thing that I would talk about is do genetics play a role in disease? I am under the belief that genetics do not determine whether or not you will have sickness, whether it be cancer, multiple sclerosis, diabetes, heart disease, whatever it is. Genetics do not determine whether or not you will get those things. However, I do believe that genetics play a role in and basically what we are kind of predispositioned to, that we could potentially get, like our risk factors could be higher. And that goes back to the things that we are just exposed to, passed down to. So like if our parents have these problems, they have probably passed on to us some of those things that have caused that concoction, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get it. It does not mean. There are things that you can do. There are ways that you can live. Your diet and lifestyle, number one, can absolutely prevent you from getting any of these things. Because you also have to remember that most of the disease that we face actually comes from a toxic environment, and a lot of that comes from our food and our diet. And so we can certainly do a lot with just that alone. So no, I don't believe that if somebody in your family has cancer that you are absolutely going to get cancer. I don't believe that if they have multiple sclerosis that you are doomed to get multiple sclerosis. I do believe though that the concoction that's within, that is already starting, that bucket can fill a little bit faster before it tips, if you have it in your family already, if that makes any sense. Okay, so and then the next thing that I was going to talk about is your body attacking itself? So I am one that believes that our bodies are not attacking themselves. I don't take medication for multiple sclerosis because I do not have any desire whatsoever to lower my immune system. An autoimmune disease in the medical industry is defined by your immune system attacking the body. I do not believe that is what is happening. I think that they've gotten that wrong. I believe that we have things within us, a concoction again of viruses and toxins that we've been exposed to, and different things that are making our we have high inflammatory responses, and our immune systems are in overdrive, trying so hard to regulate and overcome, and them fighting the viruses and everything within are contributing to our inflamed responses, but it is not, our immune system is not attacking us. So yeah, I very much so try to keep my immune system very strong. I don't think that whether you believe in God or the divine or whatever it is that you want to call creator, I don't believe that our bodies are all of a sudden malfunctioning as far as the creator and the way that it's supposed to function. We were created a certain way. We're supposed to intake certain foods and certain fuels and whatnot. And if we are not providing that for our body, then it's going to struggle to combat all the things that it's being bombarded with. And so anyway, no, I do not believe that. I do see a comment. Hi, thank you for doing that. I was not sure. I don't know if I'm going to try to respond real quick. So bear with me real quick. I don't know if that worked or not. Okay, that's me. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I was not sure how that would work or not. I appreciate you jumping on. I was just talking about that I am not in the belief that our bodies are attacking itself. Um, God has created a perfect body, and He also gave us the foods and things that we needed to keep our body in good condition. Now, over time, we have bombarded it with, number one, fake foods. We are ingesting fake food 3 or 4 times a day at minimum. And so we're not really giving ourselves a good platform in order to fight off these things that we're being bombarded with. And so anyway, I believe that if we take care of ourselves, that over time, sometimes it takes longer than others. And it depends on how sick you are, right? I mean, I do know people that have been able to turn around their lives from multiple sclerosis literally within a year. I mean, just amazing. From not walking and on. I have not been so lucky, but I 100% absolutely believe that it is still possible. Because here's the other thing. I've also found that the people that I follow that have gone from very, very sick to living really, really vibrant physical lives, their journey typically takes about 10 years from beginning to when they're really starting to be seen, I guess you could say. And so I do think that our bodies are amazing. I think that they are capable of overcoming, but sometimes I think it takes several years, number one, to find out what really works for you and tuning into that intuitive side. And then once you finally get to that point, I think that it goes much smoother. And I am excited because I actually feel like I have finally reached that point. And so I'm really, really excited to see what this next year or so is going to be bringing. So yeah, I do not believe the body is attacking itself, and I do believe that we can all heal. But here's the deal too, and this actually kind of goes into the next thing: science versus intuition. I personally am not huge on science. I don't not believe in science. I think science is an amazing thing. The thing with science, though, my understanding is that science is constantly evolving, and that's what it's supposed to do. People that are scientists are curious. They're curious, and they want to see how things work. And so then, as they learn things, and then of course, I mean, how many times have we been told that something is good, and then it takes like 5 or 10 years, and then it's like, oh, oops, we made a mistake. Well, that's because science is not definite. It is not the end all be all. And so I really, really get frustrated when people say follow the science, because that time and time again has not done us well. Now, there's a lot of things that have been really great about it, and not that we're not moving in the right direction for some things, but for our bodies, I feel like our bodies are so incredibly complex and magnificent. I literally almost think about like an alien. like we are an alien body that is so magnificent and can heal itself and do all of these amazing things, but we are trying to figure it out, and it's so complex that every time we think we've got it figured out, it's like, oh no, but we don't. Because again, all these different things, these different scenarios for each person and whatnot. So I personally am more inclined to follow my intuition. And again, I'm not against science, but I'll go back to the medicine and the fact that I have multiple sclerosis, and most people and neurologists and whatnot just they cringe anytime that you talk about not being on medication. Well, for me, I have always hated taking medication because I've always wanted to, like, even with Tylenol or ibuprofen or anything, because I want to know, why am I getting the headaches? What is causing, I don't feel like I was made, like our bodies were not made to get migraines all the time. They were not made to not be able to, to be numb all the time. They were not made for muscle spasms. They were not made to be that way. So I want to know why that's happening and fix it. Is it because I'm eating XYZ? And if is it because I've been exposed to XYZ, whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, finding the cause has been a real challenge. That's a real challenge because I think it's a lot of things combined. But regardless, one of the reasons I don't take medication is because if I am taking medication for my bladder, how am I going to know if it ever heals? I'm not. So, and I give that example because I actually have. I've declined medication for my bladder because I want to know if what I'm doing is healing or not. And I can tell you that one of the things that I have done for my bladder has stopped all of my bladder spasms. So, but if I was on medication or doing the Botox or anything, I would not know. I wouldn't know what was helping. Sometimes I have symptoms that they're one day and gone 3 weeks later. And so if I were to start taking medication, I would not know if the medication actually changed it or if by chance I just was, that course was done anyway. So for me, that's one reason that I don't like to take medication. Now, I don't care if anybody takes medication. My Facebook group is specifically a safe place for people who want to try and navigate a more natural journey, especially again with diet and lifestyle. But if you're taking medication while you do that, more power to you. You do it your way. You do you. I'm all for people. The one thing that I have across the board is that if you want to do it, do it, because you're the one that has to live with the choice. That's another thing. My neurologist scares me. He scares the shit out of me every time I go there. And I still decline. And the reason I decline is because I don't want to be like, well, I did what he said and it's, his fault, this and that or whatever. No, I feel in my gut that I should not be on medication, so I don't take medication. So I advocate for myself. But again, I have no problem with anybody doing medication if they want to. It's just not something that I do because I want to know my body. It's really important to me to know what is going on with my body, good or bad. So sorry, that was a complete ramble. So with science or intuition, I am inclined to go more with the intuition. Now, I will say that it has taken me time to learn intuition. It started with me just starting to eat a clean diet. And the cleaner my diet, the more my mind started to change. And the more I started to be able to, I don't know what the word would be, I guess just understand, because here's the thing. Whenever you're eating foods that are highly processed and with chemicals and all that kind of stuff, there's an addiction. Whether you know it or not, there's an addiction. If you're eating anything with natural flavors in it, you are being fed chemicals that are causing you to be addicted, because that's exactly what they're doing. They are adding all of those. I told you last time, they only need one natural ingredient and then they can add 99 other chemicals in there that make your brain just go crazy every time you take a bite of it. Chick-fil-A is a perfect example of that. Chick-fil-A, their chicken sandwiches has MSG in it and natural flavors. MSG, if you're not aware, is specifically made to keep you coming back. So anyway, when you stop eating that stuff and you stop being attached to all of the foods from an addictive standpoint, you are able to then judge whether or not your decision of wanting something is based on intuition or not. Because if you're addicted to something, your intuition, you can't be intuitive whenever that's the case. Now, the other side of that for me is that I have always been a believer that, like, if I'm eating natural foods, then I've got to be somewhat on the right track. Um, but the problem is now is that people actually don't know what real food is. They don't know what natural food is because we have been fed processed, industrialized food for so long. People literally do not know what is natural and not. So, I mean, just to break it down to you, super, super simple, a fruit and a vegetable are natural food in its raw form. That is as unprocessed as it gets, a fruit or a vegetable in its raw form. Now, if you go to meat, meat would be like if you hunt it yourself, skin it, get the meat, and cook it. That's still going to be processed because it's not in its natural form, but that's going to be a very minimal processing. So, like if you're a lion and you're out there, eating a rabbit or whatever it is that they catch, that is going to be their natural form of food that is not processed. The meat we eat is processed. It is not in its natural form. So that gives you kind of an idea. So anything that is packaged at all is going to be processed. Even sadly enough, the fruits and vegetables that we get, by the time some places, because they want to meet our standards, they actually will dye the fruits and vegetables and before they ship them to us because they want it to meet the colored standards that the United States has. So like if it's coming from Mexico or other places, they will actually dye those things, our raw fruits and vegetables, to make them look pretty because that's what we're used to. So anyway, so yeah, I definitely I lean more towards just believing that if you are somewhat on the natural path of, just eating what was intended for your body to be eating, that you're going to have a better chance. Now, obviously, I still have things that I'm dealing with. I have mobility issues. I have some nerve sensitivity and things like that. But I can tell you that I live pretty vibrantly. I have way more energy. I don't have pain. There are lots of things that I have been able to kind of overcome since changing my diet and lifestyle. And I fully believe that I will fully overcome and be completely mobile again. Don't know when, but it's going to happen. So anyway, I hope that you guys are all having a great Valentine's Day and that the rest of the evening goes very well for you. I'm going to go ahead. It's almost been 30 minutes, so I will go ahead and let you guys go. That's really all I had to was going to talk about. I will say though, regardless of all the things that I just mentioned, does it even really matter? I mean, what it boils down to is that diet and lifestyle will make a difference on your quality of life no matter what. No matter what it is that even if you're super healthy, diet and lifestyle will even make it that much better for you, right? So I think that whether we're on medications or we're not on medications, whether we believe in science or whether we believe in intuition, whether we think our body's attacking itself, whether we don't, whether we think genetics play a role or not, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that if we are all trying to eat right and change our life through diet and lifestyle, we're going to have a better quality of life, regardless of all of that other stuff. I think anyway. So anyway, okay, guys, I am out of here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And if you have any questions or anything, please, please, please feel free to always ask. I can see the comments, so that's fantastic. I appreciate those of you who joined in. And again, this is recorded, so if you want to share it, you're more than welcome to. I will be back next Tuesday. And if you have anything that you are wanting to talk about, let me know, because I can certainly, I'm open. I have no criteria or agenda or whatever you call it, that the teachers do or whatever. So I'm open. I can do whatever. If there's something certain that you want to talk about, you just let me know. All right, guys. All right. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and thank you for joining me for Thoughtful Tuesdays. Bye-bye. It's not going. Wait. There we go. Bye.